Hi, this is just a brief introduction to present the first in a series of videos that I will be producing that will concentrate on the mind of a guitarist when they are improvising or writing guitar solos. Towards the end of the video, I will also share some advice that I know is critical to you increasing your rate of improvement as a learner guitarist. I was a Ph.D. researcher of the performance mind, so I do understand the process of learning. For this series, I'm going to provide you with an in-depth explanation of the decisions going on in real time when guitarists play. So that's what specific scales are being used, what scale positions along the neck and why, what kind of musical techniques, rhythm timings, etc. I'll do that by rewinding the solos section by section and then commenting and providing tablature and diagrams where useful. Not just simple transcriptions, but explaining the thought process that has led to the choices being made. I will also point out mistakes because bad solos are as useful to learn from as good solos. Today's video concentrates on the rock jam I posted that was over my Green Onion style rhythm track for E blues. Hopefully it'll give you some ideas for your own soloing over the same backing track and elsewhere. But don't worry if rock isn't your thing. This was an out-and-out rock guitar solo, a kind of making noise kind of solo. I'll be doing the same thing over many different styles of playing. Some will be good solos, some will be not so good solos. You'll learn from both, as I will. Here's the first lesson. Let me know what you think. We're going to take a look at the opening section of this particular solo. It sounds something like this. There's no real surprises that this solo starts with me in first position E blues scale. Any truly improvised solo, you're not going to know what you're doing before you start, so starting off at home is a sensible idea. Start at home and then go on holiday. First position blues scale looks like this. So that opening lick is from the first position blues scale, actually the first position pentatonic minor scale, because I don't happen to be using the blues note in this lick. Don't worry too much if you're not familiar with the difference. To remind ourselves, the lick sounds like this. So that opening lick is actually a variation of a standard blues scale stroke pentatonic minor lick that I've been teaching for decades. It's a good idea to learn a stock library of licks across all positions of the scales that you know, so that you can call upon them when improvising and just create variations depending on the tempo and the rhythm of whatever it is you're playing against. That stock lick, that original standard lick, sounds something like this. That note that I'm bending in that lick is actually a perfect fourth to a perfect fifth. Don't worry too much if you don't understand that, but it's a great note to bend. It's probably the best note to bend from a first position blues scale. Another note that is good to bend is the flattened seventh to the root. Again, you don't have to necessarily understand that. Both those notes actually end up as a note that is in the root chord. All you need to know is the two notes that are good to bend, which are these. Another interesting thing about that variation of the standard lick that I play is that at the end of it in this solo, I just bang down on the tremolo arm to allow it to spring back up and vibrate for a second or so that I get a bit of a warble kind of sound at the end. I didn't catch it particularly well, I don't think, when I was doing this. If I was actually recording this as a proper solo, I would have known what I was doing, so I would have made sure I caught it, but I would do it again so it got more of that warble sound. Just take a look to see what I'm talking about. Let's take a look at what I do next. So for this second part of the opening, I'm descending the E blues scale, coming down the first position, and coming across the neck back to the 10th fret area, which is actually the 5th position. And that's using a pathway between the two positions, which is useful to learn. Not only is it good to have a stock library of licks, but it's also good to know your pathways. That means the individual positions of the scale and the transition pathways between the two positions. In bar 5 of this solo, I've not really added a lot that is new. What I've actually done is I am ascending the same pathway that I mentioned in bars 3 and 4. This time I'm running up the scale, and I've increased the speed of the solo by playing more notes per beat. That ascending run ends in a double stop. Double stops are where you play two notes at once, often with vibrato or bend. And they increase the aggression of a solo, give it a bit more power. The end of bar 5 is just a simple variation of the standard lick that I played at the opening of the solo in bars 1 and 2. Things start to change in bar 6 because I add notes to what was a simple pentatonic minor scale or blues scale, and this gives me more notes to play with for the fast descending run. I'm actually moving through Dorian mode. Don't worry too much if you don't know about modes. That gives me a pathway that now looks like this. Adding those extra Dorian notes to what would be the pentatonic pathways between two positions allows me to use all four fingers so that I can create faster runs, particularly when you're using hammer-ons and pull-offs. Something like that. I'll play that in close-up, maybe add a little bit of distortion. At the beginning of this video, I said I would give you some advice that would increase your rate of improvement on the guitar. That involves what we've been doing. Essentially, if you see a solo that you like, don't just reach for a transcription of that solo and learn it parrot fashion. But by doing that, you've just learnt to play the solo. But if you actually try to understand what's going on, you will be able to produce infinite solos of your own. It's like the old adage that says, give a man a fish and you'll feed him for a day. Teach a man how to fish and you'll feed him for life. I have lots of videos planned that will teach you how to fish. not literally how to fish, because I don't know anything about fishing. They'll teach you how to play the guitar, and they'll do so by helping you maximise your practice time. Some of those videos I don't really want to put up as things stand, just because my videos get buried. They get buried by the big boys that are teaching you how to play lots of songs. I need more subscribers, so if you think you might trust me to teach you, please do subscribe. Like the video, comment. I've got few enough subscribers for me to be able to pay attention to the comments, so please do comment. Yeah, I'd like to build a community. Please be part of it.